We live in a world in which expertise is absolutely essential. We've all got to be learning all the time. We have to turn to experts to do that. The problem is that experts' knowledge is hidden. It's material they learned years and years ago. It was probably easy for them because it's natural, and they put layers and layers of learning on top of it.
Most people who are successful think it's like some kind of magic sauce that they have. They don't realize they learned it, and they can't teach it. They're like, well, just think like me. If you think like me, you'll be successful. And that's not true at all. Yeah. You know, somebody else might be successful doing it totally different. Yeah. And this process would just kind of dig until you break it down enough that you get those insights.
The interviews, where we're really asking these deep, hard questions of these people, gets at that when and the why sort of knowledge. It's
not a passive interview process where somebody gives you, ask these 6 questions and you can ask it. You have to constantly ask the person who's interviewing, you have to try out what they just told you, sort of rehearse it in your mind. See, you know, if I tried that, what would happen to me? And that gives you, that kind of cues you in for your next questions that you're going to ask in the interview. Would you say you spend more time on defining the problem or making the solution?
Defining the problem, for sure. It's much harder to do it. When I first started doing this kind of work, I was doing it as a consultant, and you don't have the bandwidth to always follow through as well as you want to. And I think early in my career, I identified holes and left them for a lot of people.
I'm not clear on the end of what you were giving at the meetings. That pretty soon they would say, let's have Sarah in this meeting.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what Christian said I would learn from this. He said I would get to the point where I wouldn't know the answers to the questions. So I'm trying to think. I'm there now. Definitely, I'm there now.
She might have laid out 20 things that can be very difficult to teach somebody how to do, but we pretty quickly focused in on one and we got really deeply into that.
In a successful interview, you often end with a table filled with pieces that are necessary to the operation. And at that point, you then have to make strategic decisions. You have to say, here's the 2 or 3 things that are most likely to create problems, or that if they're mastered will be most likely to lead a person to success, and then you focus on those.
Conceptually, I know what she's doing, and now if somebody can give me some practice at it, I think I know what the task at hand is.
One of the things that came out is Sarah has an operation or an ability where she is able to ask really good questions. Whether she is learning a new technology or whether she is working on a team, she's very good at what we call maintaining an outsider status. So she's very comfortable knowing that she's not going to be the expert in this new technology, a new area, and she's very willing to ask questions that might make her look a little bit silly at first, but that allows her to quickly learn a new technology or a new lingo when she's working with a team. We have created starting to create a map here of Sarah's 7 to 9 operations. Those activities where you're actually creating a piece of content or you're practicing things, those go beyond just typing on a keyboard, but you're actually learning how to think.
That on a scale that's never been seen in human history, people have to be continually learning new things and hard things, and it doesn't end. You never finish. And so we have to learn how to do that much, much better than we've ever done it before.